By the way, you know they had a celebration of them on September the 5th. Trump celebrating the J6 people. I thought my boss, President Clinton, made an undeniable point. A Democratic policy since the end of the Cold War, there have been 51 million jobs created in the United States. 50 million were created under Democratic presidents and 1 million under Republican presidents.
You know, that's
50 to 1.
You've got to be able to tie. If you're going to get first of all, I love you. I love Putin. That's a thing to say.
Okay.
Because as we both know, well, am I right?
Yeah.
As we both know, jobs created. It has a lot to do with what the last guy did. Clinton got rid of Glass-Steagall. Did it have anything to do with the collapse in 2008 of the economy? I think it did. So maybe some of the jobs that were lost.
I'm sorry. It's just a bill.
Bill Maher just torched another woke guest. And wow, it was a spectacle. The guest walked onto the show thinking he and Maher were fighting on the same ideological side. Big mistake. Maher came locked and loaded. And what followed was a fiery takedown that reduced the so-called woke wisdom to ashes. There's plenty to unpack here, so buckle up. This one gets real spicy.
Thing I think we've been pretty aligned on is that the Democrats do better when they're center-left and not far-left.
Certainly.
It's better policy and it wins elections.
Right.
How do you think they did their convention with convincing the country that they are now back to the center-left as opposed to the far-left?
Well, first of all, you and I agreed, but that was one tough extraction, getting Biden on.
Yes, it was.
Anyway, it brought in the head of oral surgery at UCLA, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, and I like a couple of hygienists like, get away, Andy. Dr. Nancy came in and did it.
Maher opens by making a point even some conservatives can agree with. The left is far better off staying center-left rather than tumbling into the ideological abyss of the far left. And honestly, he's right. There's room for reasonable debate on issues like abortion rights, LGBTQ equality, and evolving gender roles. Those are conversations worth having. But when the pendulum swings too far, into pronoun policing, biological males competing in women's sports, and children undergoing gender transitions, it stops being progress and starts looking like chaos. That's where the far left loses its grip on reality. And to his credit, that's exactly where Maher draws the line.
She wanted something different. And the Democrats, they weren't looking for ethnic cleansing. They weren't looking for a war. They weren't looking for a new entitlement. The country wanted something different than Trump and Biden, and we gave it to them. And I'm not surprised the country's responding favorably. I'm really not.
Yeah, I thought that, for one thing, they sounded like America, which, has been a problem with the left in recent years. They didn't sound like they liked America too much. And this convention, I heard a lot of it. You're lucky to be an American. You're privileged. It's the greatest country in the world. It's like, thank you. Did you hear that, Congressman? Did you feel like that was sincere?
Let's be real. Nobody exactly rallied behind Kamala Harris in the last election. For someone backed by the full political machine, showered with Hollywood endorsements, and swimming in campaign cash, she should have cruised to victory. Instead, she didn't even come close. Yet the left still clings to this fantasy that Harris ran one of the tightest races in history. Nothing could be further from the truth. She lost key swing states, failed to win the popular vote, and got crushed in the Electoral College. It wasn't a nail-biter, it was a political crash landing. The numbers don't lie. What the left calls momentum was really just delusion disguised as hope.
Criticize Democrats for putting on a good show. I will never criticize Democrats for being good at politics. What I criticize Democrats for is being bad at policy and governing. They put on a great show. They got those celebrities in there. They dusted off those American flags that they had previously held in the attic or burned occasionally. And then they brought them out for that freedom wave.
Very few.
Okay. The Democrat activists burned down cities. We, as members of Congress, just a few weeks ago, we had to go put American flags back up over Union Station, Washington.
Crenshaw is absolutely right. We've all seen those moments during Pride Month when the White House swaps out the stars and stripes for the Pride flag, as if patriotism is something you can schedule on a calendar. It's a perfect snapshot of a larger issue, selective love for America. Politicians wrap themselves in the flag when it's time to win votes or preach unity. But the moment it's trendy to protest, that same flag becomes the villain. Suddenly, It's burned in the streets or mocked online by the very people who claim to stand for freedom. Crenshaw's point lands because it exposes that hypocrisy. Loving America only when it benefits your agenda isn't patriotism, it's performance.
Show. They're full of hope and joy, and I get it. Like, that's great. Starry-eyed views of optimism of the future. Policy, not so great. And in the end, this is going to be about policy. They were very light on that. Why? Because they don't want to contend with the fact that they own the last 4 years of policy. We do have a very unique opportunity here where we have two candidates where you can look at 4 years and 4 years. You know exactly what they're going to do, and you know exactly what the outcomes are. And on every metric, Donald Trump wins on this. And so that's what we're going to keep pushing this election toward, is what are the metrics that will actually make your life better? Donald Trump wins on this, on the policy and the outcomes associated with it.
Crenshaw hit the nail on the head. Democrats are still running on vibes and slogans instead of substance. And that's exactly why they're struggling. Even nearly a year after their defeat, they failed to present a clear, unified vision for the future. Ask 10 Democrats about their priorities, and you'll get 10 different answers, each contradicting the other. There's no solid economic plan, no firm stance on border security, and no real message for the working-class Americans who feel left behind. During the campaign, Kamala Harris had all the advantages: media coverage, celebrity endorsements, and deep-pocketed donors. But none of that can substitute for a genuine message. When the dust settled, voters saw through the performance. They didn't lose because of bad luck. They lost because they stood for nothing that truly spoke to everyday Americans.
You know, they had a celebration of them on September the 5th. Trump celebrating the J6 people. I thought my boss, President Clinton, made an undeniable point of Democratic policy. Since the end of the Cold War, there have been 51 million jobs created in the United States. 50 million were created under Democratic presidents and 1 million under Republican presidents.
But, you know, that's
50 to 1.
You've got to be able to tie. If you're going to that's first of all, I love you. I love Britain. That's a thing to say.
Okay.
Because as we both know, well, am I right?
Yeah.
As we both know, jobs created, it has a lot to do with what the last guy did. Clinton got rid of Glass-Steagall. Did that have anything to do with the collapse in 2008 of the economy? I think it did. So maybe some of the jobs that were lost.
I'm sorry.
It's just a bullshit thing.
Maher's absolutely right. It's never just about the number of jobs. It's about the quality of those jobs and the real economic stability they bring. Politicians love to brag about millions of new jobs, but if most of them are low-wage, part-time, or temporary, that's not progress. It's illusion. What often gets ignored are the jobs lost during the same period, wiping out much of the supposed growth. Under Clinton's economic management in 2008, the numbers might have looked good on paper, but the foundation was fragile. Many of those jobs lacked long-term security or upward mobility, while the economy quietly bled in other areas: rising costs, stagnant wages, and a housing crisis brewing beneath the surface. The stats made for great headlines, but they didn't match the lived reality of working Americans. Maher's point cuts through the spin. Job quantity means nothing without genuine economic quality.